The main method of travel in Star Citizen is of course through flight, or more specifically space flight. What's really impressive is how the system is split into different modes of travel, at least in a way that still feels fairly simple. The core resources are hydrogen fuel and quantum fuel. Hydrogen is used for controlled flight. It's part of the master modes, which is split into standard control mode and navigation mode. These you use near locations or short distances, at planets, moons, asteroid fields and other points of interest. SCM, the standard control mode, is combat flight mode with limited speed of few hundred meters per second, where you have access to weapons and ships' defenses. Nav, or the navigation mode, disables combat tools but allows much faster travel, reaching 1000+ meters per second. All of this depending on ship's size and role. Both are controllable flight modes. You can fly freely, switching between them. Then comes the restricted system, which is quantum travel. This allows high-speed travel to specific markers, reaching speeds of hundreds of thousands kilometers per second. Though it can still feel like forever when crossing planetary systems, quantum travel requires targets and can only be initiated from nav mode. Many players dislike the speed restrictions in combat, especially since the old unrestricted system was in place for 8 or more years. There's also jump points. Again initiated from nav mode, these exist at fixed locations and allow travel between star systems. Although we have 4 forms of travel and 3 forms of flight, a separation that can also help diversify playstyles. Last year, CIG was kind enough to show off the new concept, controlled quantum travel. It's essentially a standard controlled version of quantum flight. This would let us travel distances ranging from hundreds to thousands of kilometers much faster than nav mode, but without requiring quantum markers or overshooting with full quantum travel. It's almost like the missing piece, filling the gap between local travel and system-spanning jumps. We don't know when it will be implemented, but it has potential to arrive soon. Locations in the middle of nowhere are some of the biggest time sinks, since you can't always travel directly to them with your standard quantum travel, and more flexible options would force us to travel 5 minutes straight without doing anything else. It's also keeping us from visiting or exploring the places on planets which many, or probably most, have not visited. Technically, this would become the 5th form of travel, which could assist exploration gameplay across the board. Technically, it is part of exploration, as you can travel vast distances, visit locations you otherwise might just overlook, don't feel like going exploring, or just feel it's pain to travel such a distance. I think this would be ideal in the long run, as the game is not very forgiving with your time, and this would be one of these things which would shrink the flight time to specific locations, or random locations depending on your interests. Perhaps for new players all of this may sound like a lot, but it's actually laid out quite cleanly. It's laid out in a nice way that isn't overly complex but can sound if you think about it. Simply entering nav mode gives you access both to jump points and quantum travel, keeping the system streamlined and accessible. You will be using the standard control mode when you just step into your ship. You don't even think about it. It only takes a minute or two to understand the basics of navigation and standard control mode. And quantum travel is a separate thing which isn't really complex, but you will need a marker or a wormhole depending on the location where you wish to go. It actually is in a nice spot, and I hope they will never overcomplicate this. As it stands, the travel mode works well. Still, I'd like to hear more about the future plans, especially how flight and combat modes may evolve. Personally, I'd rather see ship-specific differences with master modes than removing separate flights altogether. For example, more speed-focused fighters should have noticeable advantages in standard control mode over heavier ships, whereas right now the speed controls, the speed caps, feel a little too close together. Some players prefer high-speed jousting in combat, though it's never appealed much to me. I have used it. Certain ships like the Buccaneer could technically be designed around that style, while others lean into maneuverability or different strengths. With ongoing fighter balances and updates coming, we may soon see ships becoming more distinct beyond just speed. For now, I think this separation of travel and flight modes is solid. It gives structure, clarity, and room for future development, and I hope that we get the controlled quantum travel mode very soon, as that will be one of the most comfortable flight control features we could wish for. But anyway, Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and thanks for watching.